Valorant Early Access. Maybe you've heard of it. You might watch your favorite creators in it, or maybe you yourself are aspiring to get into early access. But what is early access exactly? Who gets to have it? How do you even get it? Well, I'm Justin, and I've made Valorant content since the beta of this game. So, accept the invite and let's queue up, and I'm going to tell you guys everything that there is to know about Valorant Early Access. As I said, I've been making Valorant content for about 3 years now, and in that time, I have had early access twice. And the reason I've gotten early access only just recently in my career is a little bit hard to explain, and we will get to that, but it's easier to start with explaining what Valorant Early Access is. Valorant Early Access, by design, is an event-based marketing strategy that Riot Games hosts for creators where they offer them the content from their game early to make videos on as well as stream. Sometimes though, when you're playing Valorant, the game may be lagging though, which is why today's sponsor, Exit Lag, is here to help you. Playing your favorite games and not having the best ping can be one of the biggest problems in all of gaming in the modern age. And that's where Exit Lag comes in to help. By simply going to the link in the description or in the pinned comment, you can download Exit Lag and solve all of your lag problems. Exit Lag offers help towards your FPS and your ping. And when you download it and make an account, you can select which game you're playing and then go and select which region you're going to be playing from. And then from there, it will fix all of your routing issues, put you through to the Exit Lag server, and put you through to the game server, thus lowering your ping. If you want to switch your regions on some of your favorite games, you can even pick which region you're playing from through Exit Lag. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment, download Exit Lag today, fix all of your ping and FPS issues. I wholeheartedly recommend it. If you're going to be gaming, shouldn't it be on the best ping with the best FPS? I think you know the answer to that. Download Exit Lag today. However, let's get back to talking about early access now. Now, these events will include some of your favorite creators, big and small. And by doing this, these creators making some buzz for their game is a really great way to get people excited for the big updates that do come to Valorant. And in these events, you'll see new agents, new maps, new balance updates, and of course, new skins from the Battle Pass and new upcoming bundles. And just saying that, it's pretty easy to grasp, but I really shouldn't even have to explain it. But one of the biggest misconceptions about Valorant Early Access is not the PBE. Early Access is hosted on its very own special build of the game called the Influencer Server. The Influencer Server doesn't have a region lock, it has additional game modes, maps, and it is much weirder than any server or version of Valorant that you may be familiar with. The Influencer Server is made available to you through an email invite that will have an account name and password that you then use on the Riot Games launcher. After signing in and launching Valorant, you get to pick your username so that way you're identifiable in the content and streams that go on Early Access. And don't you worry if you have any issues, there's even a special Discord server that is hosted by Riot where you can get all of the details and even get some media assets as well. These events are really great for testing out new in-game things like the new agent ISO that's coming out at the time of this video. And likewise, it's really great for networking and collabing with the many creators and members of the Valorant community. Also, it's just a lot of fun too. I can't believe you shot at that decoy. And we've been watching early access content for many years now, but what exactly is there to do on the influencer servers? How do they work? Like I said earlier, there's no region lock. This means all players with early access are all on one big server, the influencer server. Without region lock, how exactly are we expected to just be able to play with each other? Do we just queue? No, there's no queuing on the influencer server. Simply put, it's as easy or as tedious as finding a group of people to run a custom game with. Because that's exactly what it is a bunch of custom games being hosted on the influencer server being put together from the Discord server. Now, this can be challenging for a number of reasons, like ping, time zones, the exact number of people even playing at the time of this influencer event. But when you're on this server and you want to actually play some games, you'll more than likely need to hit up the people in the Discord server to set those games up, which can certainly be a little bit daunting, as you can see in this clip from my kick stream right here. I don't know who's going to invite me. This could be like EU server, but if it is, I'm gonna have to take what I can get.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of fangirling right now.
You guys already know what goes on the streams and from the content that you see on the influencer server. But here's some things you might not know about what you get when you get early access. For starters, since these accounts aren't your main accounts, every account will come preloaded with 100,000 VP. Yeah, that much VP. As well, these accounts will come with some skins already unlocked for you. I was lucky this time around with this account that I got because it came with the Ruin Dagger, an item I literally don't have on my main account. And while the game functions normally, a lot of the things you're used to are a little bit off. The influencer server does have a store that rotates, but this one is different because it refreshes every 2 minutes. And you've probably seen it by now, but the interface has all of these weird options and drop-down menus with additional servers that you can queue for. Reminder, queuing does not work. And one of the most interesting things that you can do on the influencer server is play with multiple people on the firing range. I actually made an entire video about this, showcasing all of the crazy stuff that you can do with that, so go and check it out. Now for the important part. I know why you guys are all here right now, and trust me, I was right there with you. How do you get into Valorant Early Access? I'm afraid some of you won't like this answer, but some of you may like the answer because there's some hope that's involved with this, so take it with a grain of salt if you can. Currently, there is no way to apply for Valorant Early Access, and for the past 3 years, there simply hasn't been. Why is it this way? I have somewhat of an idea because I have talked to people who are a part of Valorant Early Access. As well, I've talked to literal developers and people who work at Riot who deal with who gets it and who doesn't and who puts on the event. And despite all of this, the answer of who gets it and how is still incredibly unclear. But I can offer some light to you about the situation itself. Basically, I've spoken out twice about my frustration, so to speak, at the time of other early access events that have went on and why I wasn't a part of it and things like that. And I actually made a video on it that's no longer public, where I said some things that I didn't necessarily mean, but definitely felt justified in saying. I was speaking a little bit harshly about other people who were involved with it, and I have since reached out to them. We had a call together, and they put their perspective out there for me, and if I could take those things back that I said about them specifically, I definitely would. At least at a minimum, though, I was able to apologize and hear their perspective as well, and to my knowledge, it's water under the bridge at this point, and I wish them the best in this. However, I did make the video though, and that video did result in a lot of changes to happen at Riot in terms of what early access is and who gets to be involved with it. I did something a little bit mean that I'm not proud of, and the outcome is still good regardless, and I even got to apologize for doing it as well. But let's talk about that outcome now. For every early access event, except for the last 2, which I was a part of, I was not a part of them at all. And so were many, many other creators. And while I was definitely frustrated on my own behalf about the situation, I was also very frustrated at all of the creators that should have had it besides myself. I am still not entirely sure why certain people didn't get it and why certain people did, but from what I was told, up until this point, a small handful of random people were selected to have early access, and if you were ever selected for it once, if it were for early access at the beginning of the game launching, if it were early access months later, you would get it forever. So the same people over and over again got early access, and they seemingly, to my knowledge, were not inviting other people to it. The Discord server was very small, and it more so, up until this point at least, has seemed very random. We fast forward to my video coming out and other videos too. It seems that they have opened the doors to many, many more creators being a part of these events. The past 2 have tripled the amount of people in the Discord server. I see many colleagues in there, and I see many other people who are passionate about Valorant in the Discord server as well because they were given early access. Now, with this process in mind, I still am entirely unsure of how they're selecting people, how they're even finding some of these people, but I do know that on my end and on the end of other creators that we have put in good words for not just our friends, but for any and every creator that exists out there. So maybe these people were picked based off of that list, or maybe they weren't. But in my talks with Riot and the people who host early access, it seems like we really understood each other in that they are going to try moving forward, including more people in these events because it's better with more people. They've kept good on their word because the server has tripled in size. And while there isn't necessarily a sign-up method or a way to get noticed that I could tell you about, I wouldn't lose hope about you potentially becoming a part of early access soon as well. With that in mind though, the early access that I was a part of is probably over at this point, and I already made a video about it that you can check out where I show you all the new skins, ISO, and everything that you need to know. And I hope that I was able to teach you something about Valorant early access. Let me know what you guys are thinking, or if you have any questions, I'll try to reply to all the comments about it. As always, I'm Justin and you're not. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and click the bell for notifications so you do not miss any videos from me ever. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cultivate, let that word go and resonate. Dominate your mind. If you need me, I can demonstrate. Synthesize the rhythm and forget about your mistakes. Let it go, let it go. Cultivate, let that word go and resonate. Dominate your mind. If you need me, I can demonstrate. Synthesize the rhythm and forget about your mistakes. Let it go, let it go.